Welcome to Lola's Frugal Life Podcast. If you're on a mission to be more frugal with both your time and money, you're in the right place. In this podcast, we talk about topics that help enhance living a frugal lifestyle. The goal is to save time and money where we can so that we can use the rest on what matters most to us. We talk a lot about both time and money management so that we can waste as little as possible on both. We do this while also embracing a progress over perfection mindset. If that sounds good to you, then please stick around for the latest episode right after a few quick words from our sponsor. Hi everyone, welcome back to my weekly meal plan episode. If you're new here, each week I just do a quick episode every Wednesday where I share what's on my family's meal plan for dinners for the upcoming week. I do use a simple rotation of recipes, so you will definitely hear me say the same thing on many weeks where I'm making hamburgers again or I'm making salmon again or whatever. I do not constantly use new recipes because that would be way too complicated for my current meal planning time frame that I have to create meal plans for myself. And to me, it's more important right now to have a meal plan rather than to have constant new variety of recipes. So I make what I make. I do have a list or a meal plan blog post every week that comes out the same day as this that matches up with the days that I've mentioned in this podcast or I'm about to mention in this podcast. And it has links to any recipes that you might want to go find yourself. I will mention where they're from. But sometimes recipes have similar names and things like that. So if you want to find the exact recipe, you can find that on my blog post, which can be found on my website at lolasfrugallife.com. So this week's meal plan starts Saturday, November 12th. For Saturday, I'm going to be doing bow ties with sausage, tomatoes, and cream. That's from allrecipes.com. This is a really simple dinner to make. You basically just cook up the sausage. You break it up. You take the casing off, or you could buy the kind without the casing, just like the ground sausage type stuff. And you just kind of cook it up in a pan. You cook up bow tie pasta in a pot while you're cooking up the sausage, and then you basically just add Italian style plum tomatoes, like the canned tomatoes, and you just kind of chop them up. And heavy cream, and then I don't know the exact order, you'd have to follow the recipe obviously, but it's basically just adding the tomatoes and the cream, and then you toss in the cooked bow tie pasta, and it's just like a one pot dish. And everybody in my family really likes it. It's a nice, quick, easy meal to make, so I'm going to be doing that for Saturday. For Sunday, I don't have a meal to share because we are actually going to be going out to dinner on Sunday for my birthday. My birthday is not in November, but it was last month. But that was a day that we were able to coordinate with my mom and my family, a day that we were all available. So yay, I won't be cooking on Sunday. I will be going out to eat. So then for Monday, I'm going to be doing hamburgers, which we do every other Monday. So I don't have a recipe to share for that. I just take ground beef and make it into patties and cook it up. Now that it's not summer anymore, I will be cooking that on the stove top in a frying pan. I'm also going to be making oven fresh seasoned potato wedges, which is from allrecipes.com. This is usually pretty much what I always make when we make hamburgers. They're just, you just take potatoes and cut them up into wedges and toss them in a Ziploc bag with olive oil and Parmesan and some seasoning, and then you bake them in the oven. They go really good with the hamburgers, and then I'm just going to do a can of pork and beans to go with that. So that is Monday's meal. For Tuesday, I'm going to be doing Southwest Skillet by Campbell's Kitchen, which is also from allrecipes.com. This is another skillet meal, obviously. It's called Southwest Skillet. But this is for my Taco Tuesday night. I've been trying to add in some new recipes for the Taco Tuesday. I used to pretty much just rotate between tacos, chicken fajitas, and like a make it home Chipotle night. But I added in a few new recipes recently. This is one of them. I've made this probably 2 times now. This is probably the 3rd time. But it's basically just like a skillet with ground beef, and I think this one has rice in it. I have 2 different skillets that I'm doing. Yeah, this one has rice, so it's like ground beef, Campbell's condensed beefy mushroom soup. I actually couldn't find that at my store, so I wound up doing golden mushroom soup, and the recipe came out good, so I guess it worked fine. I really honestly don't know if they're similar soups or not, but I figured, well, this is what I have, so I used that, and then it's got tomatoes and kidney beans and rice, and then we served it with tortilla chips. So that's what we're doing for Tuesday. For Wednesday, we're doing, we always do seafood usually on Wednesday, so this week we're doing salmon. I make this probably every 3 weeks. So for the salmon, I just buy the frozen individual fillets from BJ's. It's like Costco if you don't have that near you. And I just brush it with olive oil and then season it with Smokehouse Maple Seasoning by McCormick. And I bake it in the oven at 450 degrees for about 12 minutes, and it comes out perfect. So quick and easy to make. And while I'm cooking the salmon, I just boil up some egg noodles, and then I just butter them and add salt. And then we'll do some frozen vegetables on the side. Whatever I have in the freezer, I always buy some of those steam fresh ones you could just throw in the microwave, like peas or corn, or like probably with the salmon, I'll probably do like peas. Sometimes I get the edamame, but whatever, I'll just grab something and throw it in the microwave, and that'll be a really quick, super easy meal for our seafood on Wednesdays this week. For Thursday, I always do soup and grilled cheese or breakfast for dinner because I go food shopping that night, and I try to make it a little bit quicker meal prep. So for this week, I'm doing stuffed pepper soup, which is from tasteofhome.com. One of my daughters found this, I think on Pinterest, a while ago, and I made it one other time, and my family really liked it. It literally does taste like stuffed peppers in a soup. It's got like ground beef and peppers and tomatoes and rice and all the stuff that would be in a stuffed pepper. So we really liked it. I'm gonna make it again, and it was really good reheated the next day too. Like the flavors really combined, you know, with the pepper flavoring and everything. And I wound up taking it for lunch the next day, and it was really good. I was also thinking this recipe calls for ground beef, but I was thinking you probably could even make this with like ground sausage too, like Italian sausage, or even a mixture might be interesting. But I'm just gonna still stick with the ground beef for this time. And then the last day on the meal plan is for Friday. So this Friday, I'm going to be making creamy herbed pork chops from allrecipes.com. I've shared this before. I don't actually do the creamy part of the pork chops. I really just kind of use this as a placeholder on my meal plan to remind myself to do the pork chops with the Montreal steak seasoning. I just really like how they come out like that. So you basically heat up butter in a frying pan, and then you season the pork chops with McCormick steak seasoning and just cook them up in the really hot butter, and they come out so good just like that, that the first time I made this recipe, I never even bothered to make the cream part of the recipe, just because I really loved how the pork chops came out just like plain and simple like that. And if I could do something that's like super simple and it tastes good, I usually don't want to go to the next step because I'm like, this is good just like this. I don't need to go further. So that's what I always wind up doing. But I'm sure the cream is good if you want to make that too, to put on the pork chops. And I use the bone in. This one actually calls for thick cut pork chops. It doesn't really say whether they're supposed to be bone in or not. I don't know if thick cut pork chops would be boneless. I don't know, whatever, but I guess it doesn't matter. I guess it could be either. I always use the bone in ones. I feel like they come out better when they're fried in a frying pan, for me anyway. And I've been getting like the really thin ones that they have at Aldi because they cook like super quick and they taste good. So that's that. And then as a side, I'm going to be doing Easy Lo Mein, which is from damndelicious.net. And this is really good. You can use lo mein noodles if you can find them. Sometimes I've had them be out of stock when I do my grocery pickup. So what I usually do is buy like thin spaghetti as a backup just in case. And actually, no, it wasn't thin spaghetti. I think I did regular spaghetti. Anyway, any type of similar noodle you can make this with if you don't have the lo mein noodles available to you. But, you know, this just has like a bunch of vegetables. It's like mushrooms and peppers and carrots. And it does call for snow peas I think I left them out last time because they were so expensive. It was like $5 just for like a container of snow peas to make this recipe. So I have done it with the snow peas before. I've also skipped them if I didn't feel like spending that much money on them. And then it's got like soy sauce and sugar and sesame oil and all that kind of stuff. So it makes like a nice side dish, and it goes good with the pork chops. So that's it for this week's meal plan. I hope this was motivating to you. The reason I do this is just to kind of help give you some ideas or just motivate you to get your meal plan together, because I just feel like it's so helpful to me to have a meal plan and not have to worry every night what's for dinner. And it also saves money because I buy what I'm going to actually be cooking. So that's why I do this. So I hope this was helpful, and I will see you here next week. So thank you for checking in for this podcast episode. And don't forget, you can always email me with any questions or suggestions at lolasfrugallife@gmail.com. You can follow me on Instagram and Facebook at lolasfrugallife. And you can find a blog post for most of my episodes and definitely all of my meal plan episodes at lolasfrugallife.com. You can also join our private listeners group at facebook.com/groups/lolasfrugallife. And if you enjoy the show, please make sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you listen from. And I would love it if you would screenshot the show and tag me on Instagram so I could see you're listening. Also, if you can please take a couple of seconds to rate and review the podcast. Those ratings and reviews are what help the show come up better in search results so that other people can find this podcast. So that will really help me in growing my audience. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have an awesome day.